Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Rock On Studio Live. My name is Elwood, the show that brings you one-on-one with all of your favorite artists, musicians, and bands during the quarantine. We're all at home, and they're home too. So it's great to check in with them and see what's going on. We've got some past interviews for you to check out. Brent Smith from Shinedown. We also had Spencer from Ice Nine Kills join us. Lou Brutus, my boy Joe Cotella from Dead, and more. And don't forget, tomorrow we'll be back with an all-new episode at 4 p.m. Central Time with Dustin from Starset. Next week, Chris Motionless from Motionless in White, and also Gavin Rosdale of Bush as well. So make sure to subscribe on the YouTube page. All you got to do is search for Rock On Studio Live, and you'll never miss an interview. So definitely check it out. Once again, subscribe on YouTube to Rock On Studio Live to never miss an interview, and also check out past ones as well. So my guest on the show today, very good friend of mine and somebody I'm very excited to check in with and see what he's been up to, because the band's got a lot going on. They have a special streaming special they got with Fearless Records coming out this weekend. I've even heard some talks about some live album that may be coming out with some new tracks. We got a new single, we got a new music video, and proudly the unofficial theme song of great rock stations all around the country with their song Bow Down. Coming to you live in the Rock On studio with me today is my boy Eric from I Prevail. Eric, how's it going, brother?
Good, Alvin. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, doing the best that we can through all this. Before we get started, I just want to, me and Eric would like to thank all the nurses out there. Today is National Nurses Day. So thank you so much for putting your lives on the line for all of us and everything that you do. And big shout out. We love you, everybody in the rock and roll community. So what's going on, man? How's the quarantine treating you? What you been up to during the time?
I can't complain too much. Right now, I drove all the way down to Texas a while ago to spend the quarantine, stay at home stuff with the girlfriend, so she wasn't alone. But it's been streaming on Twitch a little bit here and there, and just trying to plan as far into the future as you can with the band and the business side. But it's kind of all at a standstill now, so it's just kind of limbo, waiting, see what's next.
All right, so I want to turn back the clock because we haven't got a chance to talk about this. But obviously, the latest album, Trauma, it took the band to a whole new level. I mean, you knew this record was going to come out and swiggin'. You got your first #1 hit off of it. Then you got 2 Grammy nominations, including for Best Metal Performance for that song, Bow Down, which is an epic song on that record. First time I heard it and got to see it live, I mean, it was a whole new level. So let's go back to when you guys found out that you were nominated for those Grammys. Number one, what went through your mind? We'll let the airplane go by. What went through your mind, and what was the feeling when you found out you were nominated for those Grammys?
Oh boy, we were on tour. We had a day off. I couldn't even tell you where. And I am a late sleeper. I like to stay up late. So it's like about, I want to say 1 noon maybe. And everyone was being loud on the bus, and I just peeked my head out. I was like, "Yo, shut up! I'm trying to sleep." And everyone's like, like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" So I was like, "What's going on?" And it's like, we were nominated for a Grammy, Best Rock Album. I was like, "Holy shit!" So we're like, got up, we were all like excited talking about it, and then we found out we were nominated for 2, Best Metal Performance, and then the Rock Album, and just, man, I'm glad we had nothing else going on that day. Like, we didn't have a show or any busy stuff to do, because the rest of the day was just like, holy crap, just like it's sinking in. And I remember a bunch of us went out to dinner and just had a nice dinner and thinking like how crazy, like, didn't feel real, it's just crazy.
It's awesome. And did you get a chance to walk the red carpet? Do they let rock bands actually get out there? Talk a little bit about the Grammy experience.
Well, it's interesting. So when you get there, we did the whole red carpet thing, and you just walk through, and we had someone with us that was going through and being like, "All right, we have I Prevail. Do you want to do an interview?" And most people were like, no, we're good. We got Drake coming next, and I think we've got Billie Eilish, so no, we're fine. But we ended up doing a few interviews, and were very gracious for it. And it was fun. It was cool. And then you walk down a section of it, and you take like a step, like, all right, one section, all right, next section, and then you have the photographers taking pictures. And I feel like they didn't really know who they were. They're just like, we'll just take pictures just in case. But it was fun. That part was cool, And then you go into this convention center, and and they're just rambling off, all right, next we got best this or best country song or best this or best that, like, and they just go through them real quick, rifle them off, and then the rock and metal ones were one of the last ones. So they went through 50 different awards and had like 6, I think, performances. And once that was all over with, everyone walked across next door to the stadium at the Staples Center, and that's where they have the televised portion. And they only, I think, announced 5 awards during that whole big thing. So it's like,
are you serious?
Yeah. So it's an interesting experience, and there's no food. When you want to go to the bathroom or get a water, what was like a $6 water, you had to wait until the commercial breaks, and you had like 5 minutes to go run and then come back. But yeah,
you would think
it was an interesting.
You'd think you'd be at the Grammys and it would be open bar and huge buffets. Don't you get like gift bags that are worth like $100,000? Don't they give everybody those gifts? You guys don't get those? They screw over the rock guys again.
Not us schmucks, apparently. No, we walk in and you got the whole like arena, like the concession stands are open for like an hour, and you have an hour to go get what you can. And they had like a couple mixed drinks, pre-mixed drinks, and 2 different beers or whatever, and you can only take 2 at a time. So I got in line, got 2, walked right back in line, slammed those 2, grabbed another 2, had my girlfriend come up and get another 2. We had, I think, 8 beers sitting there, and when we found out they weren't going to let us bring drinks or food into the actual performance, we're like, crap. So I made use of every one of those commercial breaks.
That is absolutely insane, man. They leave the Hollywood stuff for all the high profiles, I guess. The Taylor Swifts, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'd have been like, thanks for the cover. Appreciate it. All right. All right. So you guys got a really cool thing going on this weekend with Fearless Records, Fearless at Home, and all the different bands. Ice Nine Kills, I believe, is doing it. Are you guys playing acoustic? What are you doing this weekend with that?
We're actually not doing a performance. It's me and Dylan play Rocket League with and against a couple guys from Movements. So I don't know what the rest of. I know there's a handful of performances, and then the rest of them I'm not quite sure. I think there's whether they're games or hangouts or whatnot, but it's supposed to be music and more. So we did the more section.
Awesome. Fearless at Home. Once again, you can tune in this weekend, May 9th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Pacific. And all you got to do is watch it on their YouTube page, and you can go from there. So I saw you guys comment the other day, and I don't know who it was, and you asked fans how they would feel about a live I Prevail album. Is this something that you guys have been kicking around about putting out a live record or a live DVD? Give us a little inside scoop.
I've been pitching to do like a live trauma like around the world, because this is like, we've done some overseas shows. We played Australia a couple times, but this was the first album cycle that we were actually getting to play more of Europe, and we were gonna go back and play more of Australia, and it just felt more of a world tour. So I wanted to have something cool at the end of it all to put out, where it's like just random dates, and being a big vinyl collector, I wanted to put something cool out where it's like maybe every track and live from different cities that were special nights or special to us, or crazy shows or unique shows, and have that all bundled up in a really cool vinyl package. And I think we're now with this stay at home order time, it's a little easier to go through those recordings. We record almost every song, every set, every city. So we're gonna dig through and find the best ones, or the ones that were most memorable to us, and we'll see what comes out of it. But yeah, we're working to put something together like that.
Is there one of the cities around the world that you thought stood out and that you actually and will never forget?
Man, I have little moments from different shows all over, and the longer I sit and think of them, the more they come back. So like right on the spot, like I'll remember when we played Red Rocks in Colorado, was just walking out there, the first moment, playing the first song. That was one of those moments. Playing France for the first time just 2 months ago when we were over in Europe, right before the COVID outbreak. got huge. Paris was a show that we didn't know what to expect. You know, it was like we've never been there, and I've always wanted to go to France and play France, and it was kind of like, you know, we'll get there when we know that there's, you know, a fan base there, and finally play there. And that show was wild, and just things like that. Just remembering how the crowds were receptive to the songs, and it's the first time we've ever played there, and it just brings a whole new energy. And you can sometimes I feel like you can go back and we listen to some of the live recordings we have, and you can tell that, oh man, that show just felt special just from hearing it. And that's why I want to have a collection of these special cities or special moments that we had and share them, so everyone else can hear them and relive those moments of being at the show, especially now when I'm itching to play a show, and I know I'm itching to go see a show. That's one of the things I love doing when I'm at home, is going and seeing live or local music, and I'm really itching for that. And I feel like that could help alleviate that itch a little bit, putting something out like
I was
that,
used
so
to
you go
going.
and refill that.
I was going to 3 or 4 shows a week for sure, consistently for the last couple of years.
Oh man!
So I am definitely struggling and feeling the pain, and I know fans are as well. So today, I don't know if you saw this, but rock shows are coming back in particular areas in the country. But with the new regulations we have, they're basically theaters where people have to sit 6 feet apart, wear a mask, and they're only letting in 20% of the occupancy of what a venue can hold. So obviously no mosh pits, no circle pits, no high-fiving your friend, no stealing somebody's beer to chug it. None of that fun stuff we all love going into shows. Do you think as a band you would even want to do something like that? Or would you say, let's wait till it's full capacity?
Honestly, that's tough, because you weigh, on one hand, like the itch to go back and like I said, and also these, you know, having fans that are dying to do something, not even just to see your show, but to get out of the house and feel sane again and feel like a human with interaction. But on the other hand, I feel like we wouldn't be able to have. I feel like what's important in rock shows is the energy that's back and forth between the band and the crowd. Like, you can play a show where it just feels like no one's paying attention, or they're all sitting down drinking while you're playing, and that sucks the energy out. Whether it's one person that you see and you focus on, it just pulls the energy out of the performance for the performers. And I feel the same way when you're watching a band and they're not feeling it. You as a crowd, you don't that show's not memorable when you move on from it. It's just there's something missing. So I don't want to go back to these shows where it's like 20% capacity. You got to stand, no mosh. Come on, no moshing, no pushing around like that. That's what I love seeing. That's what I love being a part of. So I feel like if I was a fan going to those shows, I'd be disappointed leaving, going, oh, that was cool. I got to hear the band and see them in a new light, I guess, you know. But it's that energy. It's that feeling you have going to the show. I don't think you'll really have that with these guidelines going back so early. So honestly, I feel like it'd be best just to wait until it's for sure we can bring everyone back in.
Yeah, it's got to be a weird time, because right now you would be on the road on a huge arena tour. Actually, we would have had with Five Finger Death Punch, I Prevail, Ice, 9 Kills, which was a lineup that I just thought was stacked from beginning to end.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Papa Roach too.
And Papa Roach, yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I figured out. I mean, that's 4 bands, and that was an arena tour, so that had to have been something you were looking forward to. We've talked in the past, and you and Brian as well talked about dealing with mental health, and especially during this time. I know also you've talked about being on the road for so long that when you get back home, it feels weird being back home. And a lot of the lyrics you guys write came out of that. As you're sitting home right now and supposed to be on tour in a big arena, are you starting to write more lyrics? Is this coming back to you? How is your mental health in the band through all of this? And can you give any advice to any fans that are dealing with it too?
Well, I remember we were halfway, exactly on the day, if I'm not mistaken, halfway through our European tour when we had to turn around and come home. And I remember getting home and just feeling incomplete, feeling that I was doing I was doing something wrong. Like I messed up or something, because like you're leaving all these kids back at these shows that were looking forward to it, and we see comments and messages all the time saying like, oh, I've been looking forward to the show all month or all week, or I needed this outlet. And to see how important some of these shows are an escape for these fans, as much as it is for us as artists to go on stage and have that hour-long just escape and mental break and just to vent, seeing how important that is. It felt like we were doing some kind of wrong to someone being home and not being in this environment, having this energy with people. And just I felt like I fell into a low for a couple of days being home, but after seeing everyone else was dealing with the same thing, and having that feeling and being stuck at home, that's why Dylan has been streaming on Twitch a lot more, but that's when I started streaming, picking up my stream on Twitch, and I feel that was a big thing, to still have that connection for people, where it's a free community where we can hang out and talk and chat with our fans. And I feel that really helped me get over that low. I'm not back doing what I love, but I'm still here having a connection with people that are having the same feelings as me, missing out. So I feel like that kind of adds into what you can do to kind of get yourself out of this rut if you're feeling low. Is I got a big family, like enormous family, 70 plus cousins family, and we want to use, I'm telling you, big Irish family. But we had Zoom calls for a happy hour that last 5 or 6 hours, where people just hop in and out, just having drinks and talking. And I think it's important to find these ways to have these connections with people, just because you have to practice social distancing. It doesn't mean you have to be physically or socially distant. Being physically distant is important, but connect with someone. Try, FaceTime, call. Finding someone, an artist that you like that has a Twitch, and being connected to someone like that again. It's important.
It's awesome, man. And I got to admit it, I've been doing these and catching up with all my favorite bands and all the favorite artists, and it's been great to be able to talk to them and just know that we're all going through this. But since
it's something to look forward to as well. Like if you got something scheduled to come up like that, it's like, oh, so-and-so streaming at this time, or so-and-so is doing a live Q&A, or so-and-so is like, we're doing a family phone call. You got something to look forward to. It's not just the monotonous, like, oh, here's another night, here's another morning, here's another night. No.
Yep. All right. So you guys are at home, but the music still rolls on. We got a brand new single coming out. We got a new music video, new single, Working to Rock Radio, and also a new music video unveiled. Are you excited about that at least? Not Bow Down,
yeah.
But the new one. But we'll feature Bow Down as always, just because I love it.
Awesome. We have some little surprises in the works. We got a new a couple of music videos in the chamber, ready to go. And then like we've talked about, we've always wanted to do some kind of video content, whether it's a music video or something along those lines, for almost every song. Every song would be awesome, but so it's exciting to see that I think we're just over the halfway point now with music videos per track list.
All right, so I said it before, obviously Bow Down, one of my favorites and one of my songs that I love performing live. And fans ask all the time, if you had to pick one song during your set, what's the one song that you love performing the most? And don't say all of them. Don't give that generic, I love all of them. No, what's the one where you're like, it's coming up, I'm about to blow this place up and snap some necks?
Oh, man. I will say, it's hard to pick, because every night and every tour changes. Like, we went to Europe, and there was 3 other songs that we were like considering we look at ourselves like a roller coaster. Like, there's the high energy moments, and then the lower, everyone just kind of chills out and just enjoys it and gets back into the mosh pit the next song. And there was the 3 songs that we saw as like the lulls, or like the slowdowns in the set, and those were the ones that were going off more in certain countries and cities. So it's hard to say, but Bow Down's always a big one for me, because we started out. I couldn't just answer right away and be like, oh yeah, Bow Down. But that Bow Down's always one. In Europe, Low. It was a track that over here in the States, we were like, oh yeah, it does well. It does well. It shows people sing it. But over there, it just went off at a whole other level. So that was one that was later in the set that I always had fun looking forward to, since Bow Down was right away, you know.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I first got to see the tour, and I was talking to your tour manager, and so I was standing side stage, and he said, "Make sure you get out front. This is not one of those songs you want to see from side stage. You want to see it from out front," which is awesome.
Oh yeah,
and it did not disappoint. It did not disappoint at all.
Well, thanks, man.
Are you actually writing new music during all this, or are you just relaxing?
The first month back from the tour was just like getting your bearings straight, getting everything just figured out, being at home, and then just wrapping up loose ends and stuff. But now we're finally getting to that point where we're each at home gestating some ideas, and looking forward to the next month to getting back together in a same room together to really flesh out these ideas that we've been working on privately, individually. So it's not terribly much, but it's the anticipation of getting in the studio is very real between the band. So we're really looking forward to the next month where we're actually getting in the room together and putting stuff down.
All right, awesome. And the best way to support all your favorite bands during not only the quarantine but year round is to get merch. I Prevail has always been top of the line when it comes to merch. You always have creative ideas, from the hoodies to the grinders to everything else. So everybody hit them up once again. What's that link where people can get merch while they're home?
Oh, if you just search I Prevail band merch, you'll find it. We're on Kings Road merch.
And they've got it all. And trust me, so support your favorite bands by doing it. All right, don't forget about this weekend, as we have the Fearless Records home section. That's going to be 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Ice Nine Kills, Pretty Reckless will be involved. I Prevail will be there as the couch tour of 2020 continues, is what I like to call it. And don't forget to subscribe to Rock On Studio Live on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, search Rock On Studio Live, and follow along with all the interviews, and check out the past ones as well. And don't forget, tomorrow, 4 p.m., right here in Rock On Studio will be Dustin from Starset will be my guest. We'll catch up with that. Knowing that dude, he might have a cure for all this with the way his mind works. I don't even know at that point.
He might be planning to send us up to Mars and finally build this colony, and I'll be all for it. Which, by the way, when you have him on, tell him I said hey and I miss him.
Yeah, I'm going to tell him. Remember those suits you had on the tour like 2 years ago? We're going to need a lot of those. He built them.
Ask me if he's got any more of those clear face masks.
Mm-hmm. We're going to need some of that for sure. Well, dude, we're looking forward to the new single dominating at Rock Radio again. Congratulations on the 2 Grammy noms. Congratulations on all the success of Trauma. Breaking Down was so big and it touched people in so many ways. You have no idea how much the response of Breaking Down got, of people understanding it's okay to not be okay. And a lot of people really reached out to rock radio stations all around the country saying how much that song that meant to them. And that was a weird one. That was younger demo all the way to older demo that loved it. So thank you so much for that track relating to everybody. We can't wait to see what's next. And of course, we can't wait to see you back on the road, my man.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for all that. Very kind. And we appreciate hearing every story that comes across. We love it because we never thought that this would ever get to this point. So thank you. And for everything else, thank you so much for having us. And I cannot wait to get back out there, man. It's like I said, it's been an itch I can't scratch, and it's only gonna be fixed once we get on the road, and fingers crossed that's sooner than later.
Eric from I Prevail. That's another edition of Rock On Studio Live. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube page. Remember, Rock On Studio Live. Search it. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eric from Detroit, effing Michigan. It's I Prevail live in the studio. Peace. We'll talk to you guys later. Hey, you still there?